There's going to be an issue of countries that can afford GPUs and countries that can't.
Cost of building, purchasing a supercomputer today is really negligible.
Is there a view that you can give the government leaders today with regards to compute capabilities, artificial intelligence?
It's the beginning of a new industrial revolution, and this industrial revolution is about the production of intelligence.
Jensen Huang is the president of a developing nation, and you can focus on one AI application. What would it be? Is there a view that you can give the government leaders today with regards to compute capabilities, artificial intelligence? How can they plan well? Where do you think the deployment is going to make sense? And what advice do you have?
Well, first of all, these are amazing times. These are amazing times because we're at the beginning of a new industrial revolution. Production of energy through steam, production of electricity, IT and information revolution with PC and internet, and then now artificial intelligence. We are experiencing two simultaneous transitions, and this has never happened before. The first transition is the end of general purpose computing and the beginning of accelerated computing. It's like specialized computing. Using CPUs for computation as the foundation of everything we do is no longer possible. And the reason for that is because it's been 60 years. We invented central processing units in 1964, the announcement of the IBM System 360. We've been riding that wave for literally 60 years now. And this is now the beginning of accelerated computing. If you want sustainable computing, energy-efficient computing, high-performance computing, cost-effective computing, you can no longer do it with general-purpose computing. You need specialized, domain-specific acceleration. And that's what's driving at the foundation our growth, accelerated computing. It's the most sustainable way of doing computing going forward. It's the most energy-efficient. It is so energy-efficient, it's so cost-effective, it's so performant that it enabled a new type of application called AI.
Do you think that there's going to be an issue of countries that can afford these GPUs and countries that can't?
When something improves by 1,000,000 times and the cost or the space or the energy that it consumed did not grow up by 1,000,000 times, in fact, you've democratized the technology. Researchers all over the world would tell you that NVIDIA single-handedly democratized high-performance computing. We put it in the hands of every researcher. It is the reason why AI researchers, Jeff Hinton in University of Toronto, Yann LeCun, I think Yann's going to be here, University of New York, Andrew Ng in Stanford, simultaneously discovered us. They didn't discover us because of supercomputers. They discovered us because of gaming GPUs that they used for deep learning. We put accelerated computing or high-performance computing in the hands of every single researcher in the world. And so when we accelerate the rate of innovation, we're democratizing the technology. The cost of building, purchasing a supercomputer today is really negligible. And every country needs to own the production of their own intelligence, which is the reason why there's this idea called sovereign AI. The rest of it is really up to you to take initiative, activate your industry, build the infrastructure as fast as you can so that the researchers, the companies, your governments can take advantage of this infrastructure to go and create your own AI.
Let's today assume that Jensen Huang is the president of a developing nation that has a relatively small GDP, and you can focus on one AI application. What would it be? Let's call it a hypothetical nation and say that you have so many problems that you need to deal with. What is the first thing that you're going to approach if you're going to mobilize artificial intelligence in that scenario?
The first thing that I would do, of course, is I would codify the language, the data of your culture into your own large language model. And you're doing that here. Core 42, Saudi Aramco, Sadai, really doing important work to codify the Arabic language and creating your own large language model. But simultaneously, remember that AI is not just about language. AI, we're seeing several AI revolutions happening at the same time. AI for language, AI for biology, learning the language of proteins and chemicals, AI for physical sciences, learning the AI of climate, materials, energy discovery, AI of IoT, the language of keeping places safe, computer vision and such, AI for IoT, AI for robotics and autonomous systems, manufacturing and such. There's AI revolutions happening, AI great breakthroughs happening in all of these different domains. And if you build the infrastructure, you will activate the researchers in every one of these domains.